do, and that is juggle everything, spin all the plates. In fact, you just got done meeting with a client, going on your route for your territory. So tell me what
Yeah.
that's been like for you, because that's kind of new for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've worked at Cintas for a year and a half now. But I'm new into my sales rotation, so my schedule is just all over the place. And it's been really hard, especially with my running schedule. My goal is to run 12 half marathons this year.
Okay.
So that's a lot of training, a lot of practice. And as I was just talking to you about, Trina, it's like my appointment just went over and
Yeah.
they're like there was just nothing I could do about it just because every appointment is completely different. So you can't really manage, you can only manage your time as well as you can in that moment.
Yeah. Would you describe yourself as a type A personality or more B?
Um, Definitely type A.
Okay, so
I like,
see, that tracks for entrepreneurs and runners. That makes sense to me. I get that. I can understand having a schedule, wanting it to be in order, especially when it comes to running. If you don't get your runs in, for me, I am an early morning runner. So if I don't get that done, my whole day's off. So what's that
yes.
like for you? Are you an early morning, afternoon, evening?
So I typically run by myself. So when I'm running, it would most likely be in the afternoon, probably like 5:36-ish. But I just met up with my first running group last Wednesday morning with Crystal and Jeff, and it was amazing. There was no one on the road.
Yeah.
I felt very safe. I wasn't like my heart rate was a little high up there, but I'm working on that as
Yeah.
I'm running more miles. But I wasn't like drenched in sweat, and so I think I'm gonna start being a morning person runner now
I,
because after work I was able to go home and do whatever I
yeah.
wanted. Like,
It's funny because of course, every runner is different, but I definitely love that morning time because if I don't get it done, I don't feel like it's going to happen or I'm going to be able to give as much to it as I want.
yes, yeah, exactly,
But you made a
exactly.
good point, and I want to make sure that we are saying this because in case someone's new to running, safety is always number one. Make sure if you are running by
Yep.
yourself, it's in a safe, well-lit area. You've got the reflector on where you need it, all that, all the good, all the things.
Yes, and I usually run on like I like Springfield I haven't felt unsafe to run in. But I just always make sure that I'm watching my surroundings and especially being a female runner, you just want to make sure that you have your eyes open.
For sure. So, how long have you been running?
So I've been running since middle school. I
Okay.
am 26. So I've running has been kind of my only hobby that I've
Hmm.
done. And I ran my first marathon in November, the Bass Pro.
Yes.
And I signed up to be the Bass Pro ambassador this year and I got it. So I'm really excited to start running more and more and just making it more of a hobby that's kind of um more than anything else.
So, congratulations on having your first finish. The Bass Pro is a
Yes.
phenomenal
I
event.
know. I loved it. When I got to that Southern Hills part, I was like, "Oh, I got this." Like because I went to Glendale High School and that's where we trained at was that Southern Hills neighborhood.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, it killed me. I was keeping up my 4 hour pace was my goal was to get 4 hours. And once I got to mile 15 after those hills, I was just like, oh, I needed to prepare more for this.
But just like you said, just like your meeting running long, you have to kind of mentally reroute your plan. You've got to be
Yep.
agile and adjust on the fly. You don't just
Yes.
quit. You think, okay, well, I'm not going to hit that mark, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do the best I can. And that's what you do. It's really a mental game.
Yeah, and especially with sales too, like I am so mentally drained from going door to door and getting so many no's, but I can't have a lifestyle if that is if I like let that beat me down. And the same with my running. Like if my goal is to get an hour and 45 minutes for my half marathon time this year. And if I don't continue training and continue doing those hard workouts, then I'm never going to see the results.
Hmm.
So I have to put in the work and put in the effort to see those results in my work life and my home life. Like I like sales. I believe sales is your own business. Like, yes, I work for Cintas and yes, I work for a corporation, but they're not the ones making me get out and go door to door and manage my own business. So keeping a good, healthy work-life balance, I think, is huge as well.
Yeah, I think that's a interesting topic because at first I'm like, well, wait a minute. What does she mean by entrepreneur? But you really are. I mean, when you're doing a sales territory, you're doing a lot on your own. It's a lot of self-motivation in order to get the job done, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is my office. I mean,
Yeah.
my car is my office. I'm in my car Monday through Friday, 8 to 5,
Hmm.
and I'm running my network based off me, and
Hmm.
no one's going to know about Centos unless I'm out there putting in the work. Just like if I owned my own business, no one would know about it unless I'm out there putting in that work and networking with people. So meeting up with running groups is something like, and like joining the running community in Springfield is something that I've always dreamed about, just because work is kind of stressful and I need
Hmm.
that stress relief. That's fun. That's like
Yeah.
that I'm like I am looking forward to doing. And um kind of like a mindset reshift.
Yeah. You talked about the running community. I've always felt like it's very supportive. There's somebody for every level, introductory, intermediate,
Oh,
casual, serious. How do you feel about the running community?
Oh, it is amazing. I have not like the people at Fleet Feet, like Eric Johnson, like I haven't met him in person,
Oh,
but like signing up for all the races and like he's been very informational, and some great people at Fleet Feet to help me get like the right shoes, for the running. Like I don't feel judged when I'm like in there again, like, hey, these shoes didn't work out for me, or just running in general. Like last last week I ran a half marathon and I ran an 8:45 minute pace for 9 miles. And then I ran with Crystal and Jeff on Wednesday, like 4 days difference, and I could barely keep a 9:30 pace, a 10-minute pace. Like I was struggling. But they never made me feel like embarrassed or like it's okay to slow down. Like your
hmm.
body will be better and more grateful if you slow down and actually listen to it than to beat those times.
Yeah.
And honestly, you're your own worst critic. Because Crystal was like, Emilee, it's okay. Like this is just prior. Like we're just running. We're just
Yeah,
running, having a conversation. Because I kept apologizing for slowing her down, and she was like, no, like listen to your body. I don't want you to hurt yourself.
for sure.
So I think we're our own worst critics, and we need to have those people to hold us accountable.
Talk a little,
That it's okay.
for sure. Talk a little bit about running as a middle school kid, high school, and now as an adult, where you have to do your training, you have to eat well, you have to get sleep.
Oh my
Talk
gosh.
about how that's changed for you.
Oh yes, I took for granted my coaches so much in middle school, and I ran cross country in high school. I never did track. But I was like, I don't want to go to 5 a.m. I don't want to do Pilates in the gym. I don't want to work out, blah blah blah. And now I'm just like, man, I wish I had that coach next to me,
Right.
because now I'm in a state where I want to beat my times and I want to do good. Um, and like back then I was just like, my parents are just making me do this. Like, but in a good way. They like, you need to get involved in some extra activities. And so I picked running because that was the only thing I thought I felt good at. And now that I'm older, I'm like, eating is a huge part of it. I do
Hmm.
not get enough protein or nutrition or honestly drink enough water like I should since I'm running so high miles. But growing up in middle school, I didn't have to think about that as much because we always had water on the sidelines.
Yep.
Or like my mom like helped pack my lunch for me growing up. So like I always had that nutrition and I didn't have to think about it like I do now.
Hmm.
Especially being in sales, like it's 1:17 and I haven't had lunch yet and I want to run after work. And I'm like, that's not giving me enough time
Yeah.
to for my body to prepare for the run I want to do after work. Like I have to mentally
Yeah.
prepare in advance for this kind of stuff.
But you can also give yourself a break. You're just easing into this new schedule.
Yes.
So hopefully you'll start
Yeah.
figuring it out and you'll know how to have stuff ready for you and all that kind of stuff and
Yep.
take stuff on the go, eat on the go, healthy. So you don't have to stop and get fast food that's not good for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
And like yeah, it's not like I'm not a person that bashes on like fast food or like
mhm,
to stop at a restaurant or something like that. Because food is food, but at the end of the day too, your body wants like
yeah.
fruits and vegetables and proteins and things like that. So I think packing my lunch will probably be a better option too.
What do you feel like business and running have taught you the most?
Self-discipline, a
Wow. Oh,
hundred percent.
yeah.
Yeah. And I say that is because I've always been a motivator, like a self, like I love working. I have great work ethic. But I always want to leave. Or
Oh,
I always want to leave early, or I
yeah.
always want to like go home and lay on the couch. And um sales, like Cintas has really helped me, especially in sales with the self-discipline. Like I'm not gonna see the results if I don't do the work, or if I go home at 3:30 every single day. It's not gonna like there's no point in me working because I'm not working. Like there's so
Mhm.
many different opportunities I miss by going home 2.5 hours early. And same with running. If I'm not like the self-discipline to get me out there and run those miles is not gonna like if I don't run those miles, I mean, I'm not going to hit that 1:45 goal. If I
Yeah.
just sit on the couch and just think about running those miles and just sit and scroll on TikTok, my time difference is not going to see it. And I'm honestly going to end up hurting myself in the long run because those times I am running those hard, long miles, I'm probably pushing myself way too much because I haven't ran in 4 or 5 days.
Right.
So self-discipline is huge and keeping myself accountable for that.
That being said, rest is so important. So, are you good at making sure you get the proper rest that you need? And if not,
Yes, absolutely.
okay,
Yes.
good,
I
good.
my significant other, he makes sure too because he
Yeah.
doesn't want to deal with me that same like nicely. He's like, you need
Mm,
to go to sleep because
yeah.
I get hungry, get that hangry kind of situation going on too. But I have a Garmin Venue 2 watch, and I actually went in to look at some forerunners like the 935s or the 965 and just to kind of monitor my sleep better. But the Venue works great, so I wear that when I go to sleep, so I'm able to see like how my sleeping is and kind of gauge my day off that as well.
What's a tip you would give to someone that's not an entrepreneur, but they're thinking about it? And then the same for running. If they're not a runner, but they're thinking about it, what's your advice for them?
Just to do it.
Give it
Just
a
do
try.
it. Don't be scared to do it. I was actually really scared to go into sales. But I changed the mindset on it. I changed that I get to do sales. I get to make a change in my life because my future family, I want them to have the life that I've been able to have, but they won't have it unless I'm working. And working hard for that too. And same with running. Like I get to run, I don't have to run. So I'm changing my mindset and I'm just gonna do it. Like my friends that want to run half marathons or marathons, like I was terrified about running my first marathon. But now I'm like, I ran a marathon. I ran a full 20, like how much further can my legs take me? So now it's just it's a change of mindset. It's like, okay, what else can I do? Not I have to do that. It's like, what else can I do? And that's the kind of mindset I wake up every morning with, like, just not to be scared and just to try it because we only live once. So,
What does scare you or intimidate you or
failing. Failing, not beating my goals. Because I am a lot of talk, like because that holds myself accountable. So I'm like, okay, I told people I'm gonna run. Like I kind of use self or social media as a gauge for that too. So I like will post running 10 miles this year or 10 half marathons this year. I'm like in my head, like I can't go against that now. Like I just told all of my followers, I just told all my family. So like everyone's kind of accounting on me and cheering on me to do that. So I'm scared of failure, but I also am not scared of it in a fact that it will keep me from it. It
Hmm.
will just help me learn how to overcome those failures.
Yeah. If you weren't doing sales, what do you think you'd be doing, or what career choice do you think you would have made?
Oh, I love teaching. So
Oh,
like teaching as in like training, like I
uh-huh.
could see myself as a coach, like in any type of aspect or like in the hospital atmosphere,
Hmm.
like training on nutrition and health and things like that.
Interesting. Do you think you'll entertain that maybe down the road?
Maybe
Yeah.
if I can get my life schedule involved, I would love to be some sort of like girls running group training coach. I think that would be really fun to have like M's running group maybe
Well,
in the future.
uh, you could start by getting your feet wet. Have you ever done Girls on the Run?
Girls, yes, yes. I actually just signed up to be a running buddy.
Running buddy.
And
Yes.
I'm glad you reminded me of that because
Yes.
I have to fill out all that and like do the background checks and everything on that this
Yes.
week. So,
Very good.
um yep, I signed up to do that and I'm really excited for it actually.
They have the running buddies, but then they also um there's also a coaching program too, I think. So,
Is there? I'll have to
yeah.
look more into that
Trish,
then.
you need to talk to Trish. We can talk about that another time, but that would be something
Okay.
great too. If you could get it
Yes.
again, I've been there. If you can get it to work with your schedule, getting a chance to do that can really make a big difference in your
Yeah,
life
'cause
and theirs too.
I love giving my time. Like
Yeah.
I'm definitely like a type A personality where I have to be doing something all the time. And that like I volunteer at the ER and in the NICU at Cox Health.
Oh,
So
neat.
like I want to get into the running community like that kind of stuff as well.
Good, good. Well, this is one way you could do it too, by just sharing what your running experience is like. So thank you for taking
Yes.
the time. Okay, so as far as cross training, what do you do for cross training?
So my significant other, his mother is a training coach at Proximal Strength,
Hmm.
Springfield CrossFit over there off Kansas Expressway.
Okay,
And I go to their workout of the days and I go to their endurance class they have at 5:30 every Monday. So I will see you there if you guys want to join me. But I do a lot of like weightlifting for their workout of the day that they have. So they usually have the workout scheduled like written out for you. So the coaches just kind of walk you through training, like stretching, and then we do the workout together as a group.
good. I love it when runners remember how important strength training is. I feel like it should be a thing of the past, but every now and then you hear a runner that's like, "Ah, I don't bother," and I'm like, "Ooh, you should, especially if you're a woman. You need to have that."
Oh,
Yeah. So strength
yes.
training, very
And
important.
I have like my right knee, I hurt a couple years back when I ran my very first half marathon. And I went to physical therapy. I went to the orthopedic surgeon and like they did scans on it and they didn't see anything. At the end of the day, it just wasn't strong enough.
Ah,
That's what the physical therapist said. He was like, your right knee is just not strong enough. Like you really, before you run your marathon, you really need to work on strength training it. And I ran my full marathon and it never gave me problems. Um, this weekend, like it honestly depends on the weather too. I think there's probably some arthritis in it, maybe just because if it gets too cold, it's kind of achy, but
mhm.
it's nothing compared to like a few years back when I wasn't doing any strength training at all. And now that I've incorporated strength training, it honestly is not as bad as it used to be.
Good, fantastic. What is
Yes.
your go-to snack or meal after a long run?
Oh my gosh. Everyone's gonna hate this. I love a good McDonald's Coke after a long run.
Okay.
I know that's so bad for you, but I just love the bubbles of it.
Same.
Um,
After mine was Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper, or a Diet Dr. Pepper with mango or cherry from Sonic.
yes. Oh,
Like after a
makes my
race,
mouth water
especially.
now.
Yes.
Yes.
Same thing. There
After
was
a
something
race,
about those bubbles.
yes. I know. Or I love like a good sandwich. So like
Yeah.
if I get done with my long run, like after my marathon, my significant other, he bought me Subway and I was so like like my insides were all jostled around that I felt like I could not eat anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I like a couple hours later, I was like, I want that sandwich so bad right now, and I was able. It was amazing. So usually after my long run, I try and get that protein back in that I lost, but also a good old nice soda.
So let's talk about, you said you've got a lot of races that you want to try to get done. Are you planning
Yes.
on traveling for a lot of those then?
Yes, yeah. So, May 18th is the Joplin Memorial Half Marathon, so that is going to be
Yes.
my next one.
Mm-hmm.
So I still have to sign up for that. But then in
Talk
June,
to me
I'm gonna
about that because we need some running representatives, and I would be glad for you to be a running representative if you want.
Okay. Yes,
And
I would love that.
what that means is you help promote the event. In exchange, we'll get you a comp entry to the race. Running representatives are something Run Radio Fitness is all about. It's a way to connect the community and give back. And I
Yes.
would be privileged if you would be part of that. So
Yes. Let's
great.
talk about that more off
We
camera. I would
will. We
love
will
to do that before.
definitely. That is a fantastic race. As you know, this is the last year they're doing it.
Yes. I was like, no,
So
of course
yeah,
it is.
it's wonderful. So enjoy that. So you're to be traveling for that. But that one, are you going to go early and spend the night, or are you going that morning?
No, I'll probably drive up that morning because honestly, it's
It's
not that too far from
no,
Springfield.
no.
So, that was the closest one I found near me, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, but my other three races that I'm doing out of state, I'm going up to Washington and running a half marathon in Mount Rainier.
Okay.
So that will be fun. I'm doing one in August for Estes Park, Colorado. And
Mm.
then this one is gonna be probably my favorite. Well, Mount Rainier is gonna be my favorite, I think, but it's called Detroit International Half Marathon,
Mm.
and you start in Detroit, Michigan, and then you run across the border of Canada.
Oh,
So you
fun.
have to run with your passport, and they'll stamp your passport, and you'll run for
Oh,
like 3 or 4 miles in Canada for the half marathon,
that's
and
pretty
then you'll
neat.
run back. I know.
Very
So
neat.
those are the three that I am traveling for. And then, of course, doing Bass Pro and Dogwood. This will be my first year to do Dogwood. And I'm going to do the longer race just to get my half marathon. And I don't think I'll do the 15-mile one. So
Yes. Dogwood is a badge of honor just to finish. As you probably talked to
I
some people and
know
found out,
that's what
it is.
people keep
For
saying.
anyone that doesn't know what Dogwood is, it's out at Dogwood Canyon. It's a beautiful scenic trail, hilly, technical, and beautiful, but be prepared to roll some ankles.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And it could be 30 degrees or it can be
Ex-
70 degrees.
exactly.
You
Yes.
never know. And
No.
since you have to run through a couple puddles,
Yep.
or like I've heard you have to run through water,
Uh-huh.
you're
Yeah.
like, I don't know what to prepare for.
Unless it's very rarely has it been so dry, but usually we end up having rain or something, and it's a bit on the chilly side, and you get to trek right through that. So,
Yes,
but you'll be
exactly.
glad you did it. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
race. And like I said, it's kind of just a badge of honor to get through. And
Yeah.
so, yeah,
And for anyone that does want to run anything Bass Pro wise, I will have a discount code since I am an ambassador for it. So it'll get
awesome.
you, yeah, it'll get you a discounted rate into any of the races that Bass Pro Fitness Series is hosting this year. So
Very
reach out to
good.
me for that.
Awesome. We usually partner with Bass Pro too, so we can all come together and get a lot of people out there
Yes.
for a great cause. What else is on the horizon for you as far as running and getting your business going in the next, year and a half?
My goal for work, I am dreaming to make President's Club for my first year in my sales, so it's a marathon for that. But my running and my fitness goal is for myself is to get my half marathon in an hour and 45. But my dream goal is to try and get more people to run and run with me, because
Mhm.
I feel like I don't have a lot of people my age that I run with that is like long distance. And I'm trying to get out there more and reach out to the community and see if they want to run anytime. So
Sounds good. What is the best way for them to reach out to you if they want to connect? Do you like them to reach out on Instagram or Facebook or something else?
honestly, Instagram, Facebook, my handle is my name, so just Emilee Goddard. No numbers or anything, so super easy to reach me. It's open to the public, so I'm not private or anything. But I'm on my phone every single day for
Okay.
work and for social media. But I'm also the Centos TikTok influencer, so you can reach me on TikTok at my name as well, and you'll probably see some running videos in there too.
Very good. Now, before we close, I feel like running is a great teacher. I mean, it teaches
Yes.
endurance, patience, persistence. And I know you said discipline for you. What is one other thing that you really feel like running has helped you see as you progress in the sport and in life?
Um, kind of a hard one. Because like it's like self-discipline, but also like just the respect of my body, like the respect that I want to keep myself healthy for my future family and for my friends to be able to take care of my parents the way they took care of me.
Yeah,
So having just that self-respect is something huge my job and my running career has helped me with. Because it's okay to have those rest days and to sit on that couch or just to lay in bed and read a book. Like having those mental rest days are so important, but also making sure you're mindful of keeping your joints moving and working out every once in a while just to keep your body and your mind flowing, because I've realized that if I am doing those things, I am better prepared for work. So everything kind of falls into place if I'm just if I have more self-respect in that aspect.
very good. Sounds great. Thank you so much for joining me today. Come back anytime. Emilee Goddard, Run Radio. You can follow along at Run Radio and runradio.net. That's at Run Radio Station on social media. See you later.
Bye. Thank you
Bye.
guys.